And now, it's Boomer Life. Lifestyle discussion designed to make your life more engaging, meaningful, and complete. Celebrating the baby boomer generation, this is Boomer Life on CIL 650.
I guess you could call that the Canine Corral, couldn't you? Wishing you a Merry Christmas. Good morning, and welcome to Boomer Life here on CIL 650. I'm Sterling Fox, and on this last edition before Christmas, we're going to celebrate in style, talk about pets and pet health. And joining us in studio from Pampered Pets Ultrasonic, Rhonda Hebert and Tamara Moran. Welcome back, you two. It's great to see you again.
Welcome, Sterling.
Thank you.
It's compliments of the season. Merry Christmas to you
Merry
both.
Christmas.
And we've got a lot of Christmas stuff to cover in this hour because it's that time of year that it's joyous for a lot of us and maybe not so for a lot of our animals. And we'll talk about presents and treats and a whole lot of stuff. But first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about Pampered Pets Ultrasonic. You've been around, Rhonda, you started the business back in 2009. And at that time, it was a grooming business. You were all about making pets look pretty.
Yes. And from there, my 13-year-old dog, Daisy, was, obviously a regular customer there, but she developed a tracheal problem and she couldn't be sedated and she needed her teeth cleaned. And that's how I looked into the sedation-free teeth cleaning. And then I went and took the remedial course that was offered. And then I introduced the ultrasonic and the topical agents that we use to help with the oral care and the maintenance of the dog's mouth.
Okay, so it was a personal thing that caused you to investigate because there was there a dental issue that you recognized there was something wrong with your dog's teeth, but because there was a health concern, the dog couldn't be put under a sedation under any circumstances.
Under no circumstances.
Right. So then how do you work around that? How do you fix those teeth and make your dog happy? So you went to work, didn't you?
Yeah, and it turned into a lifelong, forever profession for me and probably for Tamara.
And Tamara, you were scooped from a horse farm to join the company as a groomer back in 2009, but working with Rhonda, working alongside Rhonda all of those years, once Rhonda discovered the whole business of ultrasonic teeth cleaning and all the rest of it, and attended the formal training process and learned to use the equipment, and then learned to adapt other equipment to the process.
Yes.
You learned alongside of her, didn't you?
I sure did. I learned a lot from Rhonda, a lot about caring of the animal and how important their teeth are with their health and everything, and with the way that she teaches the dog that it's okay, and the way that she goes into what she does. It drew a lot of my attention into that passion, because that's just how I am. I'm a very passionate, loving, caring person, and I do love my animals. I really do, especially my little dog that I have. I've had a bigger dog back in my day.
This is Duke we're talking
Duke,
about.
it is.
Okay.
Dinky Duke. He can be a little troublemaker, that one.
I'll bet.
But yeah, no, so I've really enjoyed my time with Rhonda for the past almost 4 years, I believe it's been.
And plus, you've also advanced yourself personally and professionally in your career, because you've expanded your skill set and you're now able to provide even more and specific services because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially being such a young age. I am 23. I'll be 24 coming up in January after Christmas.
Oh, my month too.
Yeah,
what day in January?
January 26th.
I'm the 5th. Okay.
Oh, a little sooner than I am.
Okay.
But yeah, no, so I mean, being so young and finding a passion and a job, which can't call it a job because I love it so much.
Right.
But the job that I have found with Rhonda, it's just been so amazing, and I can't get enough of it.
And Rhonda, you've taken this business from a one-stop shop there in Delta, one location, that's home base, and it still is.
It
right?
is.
That was where the original grooming business began, in Delta, right? Yeah. But now you're up to 34 locations across British Columbia, not just in suburban Vancouver. You're all over the province.
I go as far as Kamloops and all the way on the Vancouver Island as well.
Okay. And how does one, because as I understand it, the staffing of the company, even though you've expanded to all of these locations, multiple locations, etc., the staff size is still, actually 2. right?
Three.
Oh,
we,
three.
We also have an assistant.
Oh, okay. So there's 3 of you and 34 locations.
Absolutely.
Okay, square that circle for us, will you? How does that work?
It's amazing. It all comes down to scheduling. It all comes down to having a good receptionist and a good scheduler. So there's actually 5 people in our team.
Okay.
And one handles the bookings and the recalls and calling the dogs back, and the other and us go on the road. And then we have an accounting partner that keeps the books
Sure,
for
of
us
course.
and stuff. So it's actually a 6-person team more than just a 2. We do the actual work, the 3 of us, but there's actually 6 of us.
Now, if I'm listening to Boomer Life and you two, say, from somewhere on the island this morning, and I think, well, I've got an animal that could probably use your services quite, in fact, tomorrow would be great. How do I connect from my home on Vancouver Island to your office in Delta, and where on earth on the island would we meet up?
We'd meet in Victoria, and if I have to, like we could meet in Nanaimo if there's enough dogs. We'll probably create a list of the dogs on the island, and then I'll go over and I'll clean their teeth.
Oh, okay. So the idea is just wherever there's the demand, then off you go.
Off I go.
Okay. And as we learned in our last episode, you also are not beyond the odd house call either.
No, we aren't. We've done house calls for amazing pets, and we do like to do house calls for cats.
Okay. And why is that?
Because they spring back faster and they're in their own natural environment. And as we know, cats were a wild thing that we've brought into our home.
Right.
So they just respond better and they are happier afterwards. And they start grooming themselves, and that shows us that they're all calm and everything's great.
I have to tell you, friends, as I sit here looking at these 2 women, neither one of them is the least bit scuffed up. These people do cat teeth for a living. And my personal experiences with cats, trying to encourage them to do something they're not particularly keen to do, the claws come out first. That's their first way of going, get out of here. Scratch, scratch. You 2 are remarkably well preserved.
We are.
What's the game? How do you do this? How do you get a cat who would just love to scratch you black and blue to cooperate and stick something in their mouth and clean their teeth?
If the cat was really difficult, we'd cut their nails first, which is their first line of defense.
Right.
And then when we're wrapping them, we make sure that they're comfortable and soft and held and held so that we teach them with their head. Again, just exactly like the dogs, we teach them that this is a non-invasive thing and that they're going to be okay after. And once we do a little bit, they're like, oh, that's wonderful, keep going.
So you say, now you wrap them. Do you bundle them up and so you've got their legs tucked in?
We swaddle them.
Aha! So that's
Like
why
a
you're not
baby.
all scuffed up.
Yeah.
You just put those paws and wrap them up, and so then you've got something to work with. How long does it take, Tamara, to get the cat to smooth out?
It doesn't take too long, sometimes a little longer. Generally, the whole process would take about an hour to 2. But to calm them down, give or take, 5-10 minutes just to, comfort them, pet them, get them all wrapped up and everything like that. So usually about, say, 10-15 minutes, but give or take an hour to 2 hours for the whole process.
We've had the good fortune to hear from some of your clients in the past, and with a little luck, we'll hear from another one on the program today as well. But one of the things they are unanimous in is your methodology. You have a very calm approach to your work. And I guess, of course, this is out of necessity, Rhonda, but it's the calmness that really undermines the aggression or the defensive postures of the animal. Who is this stranger, and why is he or she in my house, and what's this thing? And you have to calm them down. You have to take them down from that.
The calmness comes from our being calm. And we learned that when we went through our dog safe paramedic dog training.
Okay.
We learned how to calm the dogs and learned that our behavior gets mirrored and masked in the dogs. So we keep ourselves calm at all times, no matter what the dog's doing, so they feel calmness from us. Because your dogs feel your anxiety. So if they feel we're calm and confident and we know what we're doing, they're like, okay, well, they know what they're doing. They shouldn't be there, but they're there and they're doing okay. So I guess I'm okay with it.
Right.
And they just learn that through confidence and the way we handle them, that we're there to help them, and then they just relax.
Interesting stuff. And so that technique is a learned thing, isn't it, Tamara? You actually you get better at it simply by doing. right?
Absolutely. Over time, practice makes perfect. As long as you know what you're doing and properly trained to the cat or dog, they do comfort in with you and how you're acting and how you're going to be. So they kind of, reflect on you as well as a person. So
I was going to ask you, because Rhonda found you and you were working on a horse farm. I wonder, did you learn any techniques or tricks working with large animals like horses that you're able to use on much smaller animals like dogs and cats?
There's some, general techniques, just the talking to them. I kind of talk to them. They don't mind that. They like it,
Sure.
Calling them over and stuff. The rubbing and the Tellington touch and everything like that really comes in handy with all the touching and the calmness of your personality and everything like that.
Right, and your clients certainly appreciate not only the calmness and the swift professional dispatch that you provide with the service, but that you also bring this wonderful attitude. You're not just people who are there to take care of the dog and move on.
Absolutely.
You're animal lovers, and you take the time to talk to the owners and to get to know the animals and the owners and learn about the idiosyncrasies of this particular dog or cat, so you're able to even be more effective with them.
Well, and it's even upon the greeting of the dog. It's, oh, hi, come and see Auntie Rhonda. Come and see Auntie Rhonda, you pretty little thing.
Sure.
And then the mothers and the fathers, if it's a reclaim, oh, let's go see Auntie Rhonda, and they make it all a positive thing.
Right.
So we alleviate the fears of the parents by, oh, I'm just going to take a look here, quick little thing, you cutie little pie.
Right.
And we make it all easy and comfortable so that we can show the person and let them know, and we take all the stress out of it for the dog and for the owner.
Right. Are you able, when you're in this initial phase, you meet the dog, which usually, I know you do dogs and cats, but you do more dogs than cats, right?
Yes.
So let's talk dog here for a second. When you meet the dog for the first time, and you are, in many cases, based on your years of experience and training, if the dog's in some kind of discomfort, you don't even have to open their mouth in many cases. You can tell that here's an animal with a problem, and I'm glad you brought him to us because now we can address it.
Well, when I see something like that, it's thank God you brought your dog to me. Let me tell you what's wrong. And then I get in and I examine it and I show them and I say, and I take the pictures, and then we refer to the veterinarian, because some signs like drooling, watery eyes, glazed eyes, all those kinds of things can lead to something bigger happening. So those are the dogs that really need me. And those are the ones that I take the pictures of, and I make sure that we get the pictures off to their veterinarian as soon as possible.
Right, and it should be pointed out that neither our guests, neither Rhonda nor Tamara, are veterinarians. However, they are both trained up level 2 pet paramedics.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, ladies. I had no idea such a category existed up until I met you two a short while ago. Tell us, Tamara, what that involves. What did you learn when you went to be trained?
You learn a lot about, safety precautions and, what kind of scenarios if they were to have, if they're an older dog and they're prone to seizures or their first time having a seizure. You learn what precautions to take and what to do, as well as if they have any, bad injuries, like any gouged eyeballs. We learned how to wrap an eyeball properly with the gauze and the wraps and everything, as well as, if they have sprained ankle, little ankle paws or anything like that, as well as the CPR and, what actions to take when you're approaching a dog that's unconscious. You got to be very careful as how to approach the dog, because they could be, unalerted or, in a, how would you say, protective way of the mind. So, you learn a lot of different procedures on how to get them safely to where they need to be, if you have to call an ambulance and they have to be taken to the vet and everything like that. So you do learn quite a few good tricks when you do the CPR.
Yeah, interesting stuff. And of course, you have oxygen capabilities too. And there was a story recently in Vancouver where firefighters ended up rescuing a dog and sending it to the hospital in an ambulance. And they performed CPR, as Tamara just said. You two have learned to do. But also, the firefighters gave this little pooch. It was a Shih Tzu, I think. Some oxygen with a special custom-made mask. You have one of those, don't you?
Absolutely. I have one for my dog Daisy. She is the whole reason why I got into this, and I've had to build her an oxygen tent because her trachea has collapsed in the past.
Oh, okay, right.
And it's $1,000 a night in the oxygen ward unit, so I made a little ward unit in my own room.
Ah, okay, much more practical and
Yes.
and a lot more better bang for the buck.
Well,
too,
and more
right?
comfort for
Of course,
me.
and
because
for the dog
I want
too.
her near me.
Sure.
Especially if her trachea is collapsed, and I want to be able to administer her oxygen and help her out. And it's made me really calm. My dog, actually, my second dog, a little guy, the day after I finished my paramedic training with DogSafe, he went into respiratory distress and his trachea collapsed. I had him flipped over, assessed, figured out what was wrong, had him to the vet, and he was home within an hour.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, that's just that's what a professional training will do
And
for
that's
you, right?
the day after my course.
Isn't that something? So how's that for timing,
It
huh?
was amazing.
That's wonderful stuff. We need to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to speak to a client of Pampered Pets Ultrasonic. We're going to go to Langley, and also because we're just 6 sleeps, Art, before Christmas? Yeah, 6 sleeps. Thus the Christmas themes musically here on the program today. But we're going to talk about what happens to animals over the holiday season at Christmas, and even the notion of giving an animal as a Christmas present. Good idea or maybe not? We'll find out from our guests, Rhonda Hebert and Tamara Morin from Pampered Pets Ultrasonic, when we continue on Boomer Life here on CL 650.
Canada's only weekly radio show dedicated to the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CIL 650.